that's why I think this walking billboard idea and Movember is so great,
And
because
it's cool. What guy doesn't want to grow a mustache? My husband happens to love his mustache the whole entire month. And then it turns into a goatee and maybe even a flavor saver. And then I'm like, Uncle.
All right. Well, it's Thursday and we are here at our Bring It On studios and chatting about fall. I'm here with my co-host Farley Boyle, and we are so grateful to have you listening and tuning in and sharing this with the people you love in this month of gratitude. So first and foremost, we want to thank you for that. And if you can continue to share our message via social media or any other channels.
It's called Pay It Forward, which is what we're covering today.
Yes. Pay It Forward is good.
Exactly. And we're just about to welcome our kids back through the doors, which is exciting. Jen actually has one of her children home for the weekend. And we have been talking about, what do our kids really look forward to besides their favorite meals being cooked when they walk through the door? And a lot of times it's the pomp and circumstance of whatever the holiday is. You know, Jen has decor for every single holiday there is. As soon as you leave Valentine's Day and the hearts on her door, then you move into
St. Patrick's Day.
And then you've got like a green shamrock.
I like the monthly theme for sure. And my son, who Farley was saying was home this past week, was so happy because he's never home for Halloween and loves all of my decor. And the fact that I still decorate. Well, I do have a young 16-year-old in the house that rolls his eyes with a lot of the things I do at this moment, but that's par for the course. But instead of the things that I'm sad about is that because of busy life, did you carve a pumpkin this year? I didn't carve a pumpkin.
Very depressing. I just, unfortunately, I think it's the first year that not only did I not carve a pumpkin, I don't even have a pumpkin on my stoop. And when I realized, I was like, oh, last year it got eaten early because we put it out early, and I'm all about holidays as well. But now that I'm an empty nester, I thought, oh, I don't really need the pumpkin, but I'm nostalgic when I pass other houses with pumpkins. I will say, there's a mum shortage right now. I guess you had to have gotten them before Halloween this season, because I went out and tried to jazz up my front because my kids are all coming home in the middle of November. And I didn't want to get the mums that have already bloomed because they just fry out. So I was looking for mums that had buds still, and they've all exploded already. No one's getting other deliveries. And I even went looking for all my fabulous big gourds, and they're kind of pittered out. Maybe you have to go to a farm and pick them.
I think it's like everything else. And they started putting out Halloween in August. Christmas is already out at Halloween.
I can't stand
so it. You're already season ahead.
I hate it.
And if you snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
Which is terrible, because
I don't want to be buying Christmas stuff in October.
No.
I'm thinking about Halloween.
Yeah. And now we want to stay in that gratitude moment of Thanksgiving, and that means mums and gourds and all that great stuff. So
agreed.
I do think you have to hit one of our local beautiful farms.
So if you haven't jazzed up your house, you might want to think about doing it sooner than later, because everything is fast tracked and people are doing it early. And when they sell out, they don't replenish. And I'm sad because I couldn't find what I typically do for my decor. And I went to 6 places looking.
Well, I'm jealous because I always buy my mums too early, and then it's a fight to keep the deer away and keep them alive. For those of you that know me, know that I pretty much have a black thumb. So just watering a plant and keeping it alive in my house is a big deal. This year, I put out my fake pumpkin, meaning it looks like it's carved, but it's not. So that I have
the same one. I do have that. And my husband was like, Fard, can we lose the jack-o'-lantern and the skull head that is sitting and taking up not a whole lot of space, but anything of mine in the garage takes up a lot of space, even though he has 500 fishing poles and 20 surfboards. And I said, I said, no, I'm not getting rid of those. And that was my incentive to take them out and showcase them. So I do have a fake carved jack-o'-lantern out front right now.
Well, hopefully you're having a lot of fun getting ready for this month of gratitude. But before we get to our gratitude segment and all the good things that are happening in the month of November, I think we got to cover our top three.
We do.
All right. So number 3, Hey es la Louvre. Voila. The thieves have cherry picked crown jewels.
I don't even understand what you just said. Pardon moi. Wait, excuse-moi, s'il vous plaît.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you're following this story, these thieves literally drove up a basket picker to the Louvre Was it in the middle of the day, Far?
Yeah, there was. And you can go online and see the pictures, and we're going to post them because it's unreal. Unless you thought, oh, they're doing some work at the Louvre.
If you've ever been to the Louvre, there's the beautiful pyramid glass structure where you enter.
Right.
This was on the rear portion where they pulled up this cherry picking thing, took it to a balcony and went in. And according to the reports, some of the jewels they stole were like 150 feet from the Mona Lisa. So she sat watching this whole thing go
She's
down.
lucky. She's lucky they didn't come poach her, you know? Her shifty eyes probably scared him away.
Yeah, a lot of thieves in the thieving world said that they were ripe for the picking. So hopefully this is a good time for every other museum across the world to tighten up their security, because in desperate times, people take desperate measures, and coming away with millions of dollars worth of jewels that can be melted down and sold on the black market is a scary thing. And it's sad for the history and the value intrinsically of the piece, not just the material and street value.
Exactly.
All right, number 2, fasten your seatbelts, stow your luggage. Don't lose your laptops, because lithium batteries on the airplane are creating impossible travel plans for everyone else.
Somebody lost their computer in the sidewall or a gap somewhere on the plane, and it was turned on. So they were very concerned that A, they weren't going to get their laptop back, and B, that it was turned on and there is a lithium battery. So they must have told the stewardess, who went and told the captain, and out of precautionary measures, he decided to turn that flight around and ground it on its way to Rome. And it was a 4-hour delay, but I guess it was a win because it was safe and there was no fire.
Yeah. And if you've traveled recently, anytime I get on a plane, they make certain that if you have those battery pack chargers,
which I always do,
they can no longer go in your checked luggage. They have to go in the passenger cabin because of fear of fire. So I think that's what happened with this laptop, is that because it was on and down now in a cargo hold, there's a much higher risk of it combusting, and then obviously having a big major problem for everybody on board. So I guess I
think the pilot did the right thing.
Oh, absolutely.
He made the executive call. Absolutely. I would have been mortified if it was my computer. However, she did need to report it, because what if she was working on her way to her Italian vacation and she thought, uh-oh, I'm not going to be able to continue my work. Where's my computer? Who knows why she actually raised her hand and said, uh-oh, we have a problem.
Thank God she did. And the other crazy thing in this story is that, isn't it insane that the cargo hold can be accessed with your laptop isn't a credit card size. They're at least half a inch wide. So is there that much gapping in between the space?
Well, that makes me think that if somebody knows that there is a little space, what kind of a scumbag isn't going to
no ideas. But listen, it's not our original thought. We recognize.
Don't want to see this.
I know. No bueno. Number 1. Wait, hold on. What's number 1? Wait, hold on.
I think we need number one. I think we really need it.
Number 1. I can remember it now, thanks to ALZ 801. It's a drug from Alzheimer, biotech medical organization in Massachusetts, and they are helping slow brain loss and memory issues with this new drug. I have a mother-in-law that's suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, and it's something that scares all of us. Every time I'm looking for my keys or my phone, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming for me.
I feel like all of us in the menopause realm think we have dementia and Alzheimer's 24/7. So the good news about this drug is if you have the gene, and I'll tell you what that gene is, and we all probably should go get checked out for it, especially if it runs in your family. It's APOE4 gene. It increases your risk of getting Alzheimer's times 10. And what this study revealed is that 50% of the younger population with this gene, so we're given 2 pills a day, along with people that were given a placebo in the same test group, they had 50% better memory retention. They didn't exhibit memory loss or discombobulated feelings or feeling like they don't know where they are, because it really doesn't just affect information. It affects your spatial awareness. It starts sneaking in there. And anything that we can do to stop that or postpone it is a home run for all of us.
Absolutely, because nobody likes discombobulation. That word alone is discombobulated. I feel discombobulated saying discombobulation.
I would be really happy if science progresses to the point where this is not something that we all have to stress about every day.
Yeah, we want combobulation back, which I don't think is actually a thing because there's no combobulation. Really funny. We had this conversation with a neighbor of ours. And we were like, I want to be combobulated because if I'm discombobulated, I want to be the opposite of that.
Combobulation is a humorous and informal word that means to compose oneself and to organize and bring something out of a state of confusion or disarray.
But it's not really a word, which doesn't make any sense because usually when you have a prefix to a word, that means that the other word was actually word, but nobody uses combobulation.
It's in a Wiktionary, whatever that is.
Let's try not to be discombobulated and let's try and have some structure in our life because November is a month we need structure, right, Far?
It's a month where if you can't find your purpose or you can't find a way to give back, you're missing so many different opportunities. November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, Lung Cancer Awareness Month, Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, National Epilepsy Awareness Month. So right there, we've got some causes that I'm sure are near and dear to several of you listening. It also is recognized as National Diabetes Month, Bladder Health Month, and National Family Caregivers Month. So we should be really giving ourselves pats on the back here as caregivers. There's so many ways to show your gratitude. And it doesn't mean that you have to join an organization or that you have to make a financial contribution, a contribution of time, getting rid of some things that you have in your household, coats. It's a chillier season, going through and finding things that you don't wear often that can be repurposed for somebody that is not as fortunate as you. There's so many ways to show your gratitude, even random acts of kindness. There's no rules. Do something. You have to be proactive.
The month of November is obviously everyone knows thankful time of the year, but we want to highlight a couple of causes that are impactful, not only from a standpoint of a community, but the initiative it took to get these platforms to the next level. So the one that I think we'd like to start with is one that kicked off their event a few years ago, and it's called Dermer Streams. And this story is a really important story because it was a simple idea and concept that he's now been able to make some major impact in the food shortages that are happening across the state and always happen across the state. And the thing that, even though we're having our issues with the government shutdown from the SNAP benefits, which we'll get to in a little bit, but the food insecurity, if you talk to your food banks locally, wherever you live, are always of issue. And they do get highlighted in the month of November, which is awesome.
To think that so many people go without food. You take it for granted if you never have gone a day hungry. It's a frightening, sad statistic. 873,000 pounds of food have been donated by this incredible initiative. 727,515 meals have been served, and 3,020 students making a difference. The initiative started with a yellow bag left on doorknobs in New York City. The founding director of this nonprofit was a residential
property
manager in New York. So he had access to a lot of doorknobs. And he took full advantage of that and said, go into your pantry and find canned goods that you might want to part with, or dry goods, anything that you have an abundance of because you went to Costco and you loaded up ×4.
Right. Those non-perishable items that, have a nice stable shelf life. He made a list and it was a simple concept. And it started back in 2012, right around the advent of Superstorm Sandy, when so many people were insecure.
I'm going to give you a very sad statistic. Over 34 million Americans are food insecure and 9 million are children. So their dream is to change this one bag at a time. And these bags that get chock full of groceries filled up a football field in our community at RFH High School. And we are going to share that image because you can't see any green. There's so many yellow bags side by side. And if you do the math, we just shared some of these stats with you. They're really making a difference and the food banks are booming.
So at this point, they have 30 different towns involved. It really is impacted the enormity of our area, which is amazing. And what he is trying to do is take this simple concept where you have individual teams.
Called the Neighborhood Captain Program, where you can become a captain. And if you go to their website, it's dermerdreams.org. So it's DERMER dreams.org. And you can read about them. You can see how you can roll up your sleeves and get involved. You can nominate a neighborhood captain. You can nominate yourself as one. and bring it to your school district and make a difference.
And it's great because they really are capitalizing on the youth leading the charge on this simple concepts. They'll go out into their community and different streets and they'll leave a bag. They'll leave 1 bag or 2 bag on a mailbox, on a doorknob, and then you fill it and they pick it up on a specific day. But when you see it on the football field, it's a game changer.
They make it so easy. You can bring it to a drop-off location. If you didn't get a yellow bag, you can totally participate and bring whatever you'd like to share. I filled the bag, left it on my front stoop, and they came and picked it up. So it is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Make sure that you don't give expired goods. I made sure I went through all my canned goods and boxed items, and I did not give anything expired.
They have to throw it out.
Yes.
They cannot, by law, at any of the food banks accept them. During the pandemic, I volunteered at our local food bank called Fulfill, and one of the jobs is just make sure they check every can, every box, because everything has an expiration date, even if it's canned goods.
Right.
Just think about the fact that somebody has to physically do that. So make sure you do that.
You can go online and see the list of what their requests are. And it's not too late.
No, and it's never too late. Everybody remembers the food banks in November and Dermer's Dreams. Amazing initiatives, not taking anything away from that. We did a football program that benefited lunch break for many years. We raised money, donated goods the Friday after Thanksgiving. So this time of year is a great banquet of food and energy for local food banks. But remember,
people are hungry every day, all the time, right. 365 days a year.
Right. So, but what you do today is going to affect tomorrow. So hopefully you get more involved in your local initiatives and support your food banks, which will take us to our Got Grit person. So you got to tune in for that.
We have a phenomenal Got Grit person. And our second fantastic charity that originated, I want to say it was 2003 in Melbourne, Australia, is Movember. So if you've seen a mustache, if you've seen a lot of men that refuse to shave the whole month of November, it's not without good reason. And the idea spawned when 2 mates were sitting at a bar, having some beers, and they thought that the art of having a mustache had fallen by the wayside. And they thought, how can we bring mustaches back? One of the fellows' mom was going through breast cancer, and she was doing fundraising initiatives on behalf of her cause. That's what spawned the idea. There's not really a specific charity that is aligned with male specific causes like prostate cancer and testicular cancer. And that is where the whole idea of creating Movember came from.
So one of the things they tout is you can be your own walking billboard. And especially men, my husband will sport a mustache just to drive me absolutely crazy. I don't love him in a mustache, but I support the cause completely. It's be your own walking billboard. So someone who doesn't normally sport a mustache, all of a sudden they're sporting a mustache in the month of November. They're able to now talk about men's health. And that's important because we know that men do not take care of themselves the way that women do. And a lot of times do not have an infrastructure of support of men talking to other men about their
It's almost
issues.
Considered a weakness. You know, it's like therapy. If a man was going to go get therapy, he's a wimp, you know, and we women have all kinds of checks and balances in place and certain ages that we have to do things.
I like that because you're trying to do good things. And listen, back to Movember. Prostate cancer is a big thing. My father had prostate cancer and he didn't want to talk to anybody about it. We found out about it because my brother went onto their computer to do something else and it was in the search history. He went through it and it was not something that he wanted to talk to my mother or any of his children about.
Right.
But that's why I think this walking billboard idea and Movember is so great because
and it's cool. What guy doesn't want to grow a mustache? My husband happens to love his mustache the whole entire month. And then it turns into a goatee and maybe even a flavor saver. And then I'm like, uncle.
Well, technically for Movember, the rules of this program is only a mustache. They want the Mo to be highlighted in their initiative. But that's because your husband likes it because he likes to rock the Magnum PI kind of look because he does
absolutely
rock that costume a lot in years past for Halloween.
Portmanteau. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. The Australian English diminutive word for mustache. That's where Mo came from.
Mo.
Isn't that funny?
Not Mo, not mustache, not Mo.
Portmanteau.
Interesting.
The Aussies are getting the credit here, but it's now a worldwide movement, which is fantastic.
Well, I think it's awesome too, because how many things you can do with Mo, like movement, motivation. There's just so many words that are positive that start with Mo. We love this initiative and it's simple. Sign up. Shave your mustache off before November 1st. There's still time to grow. We're only at the 6th of November, so you got plenty of time. You start clean and then you can grow it on. Hopefully by the end of the month, you've raised awareness, put some funds, donated. Go to their website, which is us.movember.com. So like November, the month, but with an M in front for obviously mustache. Go online, sign up. And if you are someone who cannot do a mustache, you can host an event. You can get women involved.
Be a Mo sister if you're a female. If you have somebody with testicular cancer, if you have somebody with prostate issues, if you have somebody that suffers from mental health issues, they've taken on the suicide statistic and they're making huge waves. In fact, over the last 22 years, they've raised $1.4 billion for men's health. Every year, they publish financial information so you can see how the donations work. Men's health is in crisis. Men are dying on an average of 4.5 years earlier than women for largely preventable reasons. A growing number of men, actually 10.8 million globally, are facing life-threatening prostate cancer diagnoses. Globally, testicular cancer is the most common cancer among young men. And across the world, one man dies by suicide every minute of the day, with males accounting for 69% of all suicides.
They have a challenge if you want to get involved. If you're a runner or an avid walker, you can walk 60 kilometers. It's kilometers because it's an Australian organization. 60 kilometers represents the amount of male suicides that happen. There are 60 men per hour that pass because of suicides across the world. And that's a scary stat. They want to change the face of mental health for men. So growing a mustache, raising awareness, and changing that face.
And if you are motivated by incentives, they have that. Every dollar counts. If you hit 250, you get a mode deck of cards or a Mo's game. $1,000 gets you the Platinum Club tee, and $4,000 a rare triptych skateboard deck.
Ooh.
A lifetime $25,000 contribution earns you a custom vinyl record in the Hall of Fame. So there are some incentives beyond just men's health being addressed, but you can walk away with coveted prizes.
What I'd love to see is an awesome mustache. Why don't you take a photo and tag us? We'd love to push whoever's doing this and make incredible initiative across our platforms for the month of November. So make sure you tag any photos of your spouse, father, friend, brother, cousin, sporting that Movember look, because we think it's amazing.
By the end of the month, I'm going to be itchy, scratchy, and so over it. I might share one photo of Pat. He looks more Hispanic when he grows his, so we call him Ricardo.
My husband gets Middle Eastern, so when he does a whole beard, he's been approached by multiple people, and I know this is sacrilegious, but people will say he looks like Jesus.
Well, I've also been with him where he gets shifty eyes at airports when we're traveling together.
He can kind of pivot a lot of different ways, which is horrifying and beautiful in the same right.
Well, that brings us to our Got Grit winner of the week, who is a spectacular human doing amazing things. And you love to hear that when it's a celebrity, rock star at that. John Bon Jovi lives in our backyard in Red Bank, and he and his wife started an initiative called the JB Soul Kitchen. And it's a restaurant of sorts that feeds anybody in need. And it's a 3-course meal prepared by a chef. It's real food. They ask for a $12 donation. If you're unable to make a donation, you are eating for free, no questions asked. And as the government is in a shutdown and wages are being furloughed, they have opened their doors to any government employee being furloughed to have meals there every day until the furlough has been lifted. John Bon Jovi and Dorothea thought outside the box and have also taken the initiative to try to stop hunger. And if you want to check them out, you can go to the John Bon Jovi Soul Foundation. It must benefit their actual foundation, but it's jbjsoulkitchen.org. Take a look at it. It's community dining with dignity, and they're doing a fantastic job.
And the food,
wait till you see the pictures.
The food is legitimate, amazing.
Farm to table, but it's only open during the day for lunch.
And they definitely abide by that golden rule of treat others like you'd like to be treated. They feed others as they would like to be nourished, not only in body, but in soul. And we really love this story from John Bon Jovi from the initiative that he and his wife have created.
230,070 meals served, 58% earned meals volunteering, 42% paid with donations, And they have 2 locations, one in Red Bank and one in Toms River.
Yeah. And then they do pop-ups too, I think, like they mentioned, where what one of the initiatives is happening right now with the SNAP benefits. And then other news, just as a sideline, as we're talking about this month, is that DoorDash recently announced that they're going to be doing things with the SNAP benefits. So take a peek at your DoorDash. There's ways that you can support other people who cannot get themselves to food banks or to Soul Kitchen. So check out DoorDash's initiatives for the snaps this month as well.
Fantastic. That means Uber Eats will probably be jumping on the bandwagon next.
As they should.
Exactly.
As they should.
Agreed.
So speaking as they should, that brings us to our song of the week, which is a beauty for this month and this week and today. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be.
My first concert. Whitney Houston, baby. I can just hear her singing it. It gives me the chills. That is a fantastic song.
It's an amazing tribute to humanity. It's an amazing tribute to being grateful for all the things that we've been given. And she was taken way too soon from this planet, like many amazing artists that we highlight in this show. So again, if you haven't tuned into our playlist on Spotify, we have all of those songs there for you to take a full listen to, with hopefully a new ear and a new lens on the way we speak and handle each other as human beings on this planet.
And we challenge you to do a random act of kindness between now and next Thursday when we see you again.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Girls Gone Gritty. Peace out.
Gratitude.